So we are starting to factor. So I want you to remember, I know I'm putting this on the cheat sheet, but it doesn't really pertain, so watch. You don't have to write this down. I'm just going to go over something. If I have x plus 2 times 3x plus 1, how do I multiply those?
Yes.
How? Using the what?
Box.
The box. Do y'all remember this?
Yes.
Okay, so we put the two of the terms on top, so x plus 2, and then we do the 2 on the terms on the side at 3x plus 1, right? So what is 3x times x? And what's x times 1? What's 3x times 2? And what's 2 times 1? 2. Now to get my final answer, I combine these. What's 1x plus 6x? Positive 7x. So what's my final answer? Perfect. Now, what if I gave you the answer and I said find the factors? Do you know how to do that yet? Guess what we're learning today? How to do that. Woohoo. Okay, so that's what this cheat sheet is to help you with. So it says cheat sheet. So to find the GCF, we know how to do that with Math Right 9. That's what we learned yesterday, right? Okay, where do A, B, and C come from? Well, we have our ax squared plus bx plus c. We're dealing with quadratics. And A is just what's in front of your x squared. B is what's in front of x. And C is what's by itself with no letter. So for this example, what would my A be? Not the letter, only numbers. 1. What would my B be? What's in front of the x? 8. And what's my number without a letter? 12. Do y'all see that? A, x squared plus B, x plus C. Okay, we're going to practice that a little more. So, if we were factoring that, we are going to use the box. See how it says first term here? Well, what's my first term? 1x squared, right? What's my last term? So this is the weird part. Don't these two need to add up to my 8x? So that's what we have to figure out. So the secret is you build a t-chart and you have to do A times C. What's 1 times 12? What are factors of 12? 1 and 12. Does 2 go into 12? 6 times. Does 3? 4 times. And now there's 4, so I don't need to keep going. Do any of these add up to 8? Which one? Well, 1 plus 12 is 13. 2 plus 6 is 8. 3 plus 4 is 7. So which one am I going to use? Shh. So we have 2 and 6. So this is going to be my positive 2 and positive 6. Well, is 2 plus 6 8? The only thing it's missing is the x's. That's the hardest part, y'all, is finding those two numbers. Okay? Now, we have to work backwards. What goes into both of these? What's my GCF between these two? Huh? It's just 1x. What's my GCF between these two? Does 6 go into 12? So 6. Does 12 have an x? So I cannot take out an x. Well, guess what? I just found one of my factors. What's my GCF this way? Well, no. Remember, your GCF can never be bigger than your smallest number. What's my smallest number? 1. Is there another number? No. Does 1 go into 6? So this could be 1. And do they both have an x? What's my GCF this way? Remember, you can use your Math Right 9. Math Right 9. And I have 2, 12. So what's my GCF? 2. Now, do they both have an X? No. So guess what my answer is going to be? X plus 6 and X plus 2. Isn't that just kind of the opposite of what we did here? Yeah, it is. So that's what we're doing today. So this is what we're practicing. So this is your cheat sheet, just kind of like notes. Okay, so let's actually get into our notes. Okay, what's my GCF here? Do they all have a W? No, so I can't take out a W. And this one doesn't even have a number. So guess what your GCF is? 1. So does anything change if I take out a 1? No. So what's A? What number can I put in front of W squared that wouldn't change anything? 1. Okay, so A is 1. B is what's in front of our X or W, so it's negative 12, and C is our number without any letters. So what's C? Positive 36. Now, is this one in the correct order? What's squared should be in the front, right? So this is a positive one or a negative one? Positive. So can I just move it to this side? Did that change anything? But now, do I have a GCF between those two terms? What would your GCF be? 1. Now, remember the rule yesterday, when the first term's negative, what do you have to take out? A negative. So technically I have a negative 1 GCF, which does change things. So you would divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1. 2 negatives makes A. And a negative and a positive makes A. Now that's it in factored form, correct? So I need to find A, B, and C. What would my A be? What's in front of n squared? So that's A. Is there an n without an exponent? So what's your B? How many n's without an exponent are there? Without an exponent. This one has an exponent, so not that one. Is there an n anywhere without an exponent? Does that one have an n? So how many n's are there by themselves? If it's not there, what number represents not there? 0. And then what's my number without a letter? Now, if you notice, my GCF does not go into A, B, and C. So last one, is it in order? What needs to go first? Which one needs to go first? Y what? Y squared. Okay, now what? Plus 12y plus 4. It needs to be whatever squared, the letter without a square, and then the number with no letter. Letter squared plus with the letter, and then the number with no letter. Is that the order I'm in? So now, What's my A going to be here? If there's no number, it's 1. What's my B? And what's my C? Good job. Was there a GCF in this one other than 1? No. 1. Okay, I'm going to tell you a secret. Today, all of our GCFs are 1. So we don't have to stress about GCFs today. So don't overstress GCFs today, but just know that tomorrow, well, Monday, we are going to deal with GCFs. So again, no GCF, so I'm not going to change anything. What's my A? 2. What's my B? And what's my C? Do you notice that I don't put letters here? Okay. Now I do put letters in my box. So remember, first term, it goes in the first box. Last term goes in the last box. But I have to figure out what goes in these boxes by doing my T-chart. So just a reminder, A times C, and we want it to add to B. So what's A times C? What's 2 times 15?
30.
What are my factors of 30? 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10. Now freeze. What's 1 plus 30?
31.
2 plus 15?
17.
What's 3 plus 10?
13.
Is that my B term?
Yeah.
So these are my split numbers. And remember, they need their letter. Cameron, are you awake? Writing this down? Okay, so knowing that, what's my GCF here? Well, can I tell you a secret? You're always going to have an X here and here. You're never going to have an X here and here. Okay? Well, doesn't this row have an X in column? Column. This row also has an X in common. This doesn't, and this doesn't, which is why we always have that. Now, we need to figure out our number GCF. So you can do your math right 9, 2, 3. What's my GCF? 1. Okay, what's my GCF here between 2 and 10? Use your math right 9. Y'all tell me. Two. Okay, what's your GCF here between 10 and 15? 5. Now, see how this 10 is positive? Then you're going to take out a positive. See how this 3 is positive? You're going to take out a positive. So what is your GCF between 3 and 15? So what's my final answer? X plus 5 inside parentheses, and then 2x plus 3 inside parentheses.
Well, why don't you solve that?
We did. We're going backwards. It was given to us already solved. We're trying to find the factors. And there's a reason for that, but not something we're doing in this unit. In this unit, we're just trying to learn how to do it. Our next unit will still be factoring, but it'll have more to it, and you'll understand why we do it. 10 and 5, 15 is 5? No. And now, a check, y'all, a way to check this is 2x times 1x, 2x squared. Is 1x times 3, 3x. Is 2x times 5, 10x. Is 3 times 5, 15. Now, could you also check it here in your y equals? Yeah, 2x squared plus 13x plus 15 is what was given to me. I came up with x plus 5, 2x plus 3, and what do I do now? Second graph. Does y1 and y2 match everywhere? Then I did it correct. Does that make sense? So let's look at the next one. I'm actually going to change this to a -4 in the middle because I want y'all to understand negatives. So pretend that's -4. And remember, I said there's no GCFs today other than one, so we don't need to worry about that. What's my A? What's my B? Well, we just made it negative, so -4, sorry. And what's C? So I know my first term goes in my first box. My last term goes in my last box. And I need to figure out my B term split. So, what's A times C? What's 4 times 1? What are factors of positive 4? But I need it to equal a -4. What's another factor of positive? Doesn't 2 negatives make a positive? So would this also be a factor? Yeah, so which one of those would add up to -4? The second one. So what's my GCF here? Remember, y will always be here. Your letter will always be there. So you're right, 2 goes into it. What about here? We'll see how this is a -2y. That means I'm going to take out a negative. And what's my GCF between 1 and 2? You're right. It's 1. So what's my GCF between 4 and 2? What's my GCF between 2 and 1? And again, this has a y that doesn't, so we're not going to take out a y here. And what kind of y? Because that's negative, we have to take out a negative. Because that's negative, we had to take out a negative. When they were positive, what did we take out? Positives. But when they're negatives, we take out a negative. So what's my final answer here? It's the same thing twice. Could I also write it like this? Yeah, same thing. So just so you know, on a multiple choice test, you could see either of these if they were the answer. Okay, that's all I'm telling y'all today. You're going to work on iExcel so you can get this down. You do need a marker.